This is A to Z with Mark Zinno, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, and it starts now.
Good afternoon. Welcome to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, where today I tell you, don't let the emotions get the better of you. Welcome in. We are live here on this Monday, and I am live from parts unknown to Atlanta. Actually, I'm at my parents' house up in New York visiting with family for the week, so I'll be here all week long doing the show here. So forgive the, different background if you're watching this on our YouTube channel or the audio quality isn't as good as it normally is in my home studio. But nonetheless, bear with me, folks. It's going to be a good week, and I'm glad that you guys are here with me, spending it with me here on Locked On Sports Atlanta and A to Z. Give us a follow on Twitter at Locked On Atlanta. Of course, I'm at Mark Zinno, MarkZinno. We got some Falcons news to get to coming up, and of course, some interesting political news surrounding the sports world and the world of tennis. We'll get to that before the end of the show. And this first segment brought to you by our good friends at BetOnline.ag. All right, let's get to the weekend that was at Truist Park for the Atlanta Braves and Freddie Freeman. And, it was very much a something I think a lot of us didn't expect. I think we knew that Freddie Freeman was going to be the main focal point of what went on. I think we knew that Freddie Freeman certainly was going to be a big part of the story. What we didn't know is that Freddie Freeman's emotions were going to boil over into something that we hadn't seen, that left him walking out of a press conference on Friday evening, coming back in, shedding tears, hugging media members, and literally just, losing all composure about his return to Truist Park, no longer a member of the Atlanta Braves. And I saw a variety of different reactions to this over the course of, Friday night into Saturday, Sunday, and even through Sunday night baseball last night. Oh, by the way, the Braves ended up losing 2 of 3 from the Dodgers, and it was in interesting fashion last night how the whole thing went down, because Spencer Strider once again was fantastic, and Kenzie Jansen blows a save. You guys were there. You watched it all. If you didn't, there's an internet. Go figure out how they lost the game. But that's not really where what we're talking about. So, we knew that Freddie was going to be the focal point of everything that went on. But still, I think this weekend was pretty telling for Braves fans, because there was a mixed bag of reaction from people. I saw a couple of people saying, oh, Freddie realizes he made a mistake and he shouldn't have left. Freddie's agent realizes, now Freddie knows his agent is an idiot. Freddie is unhappy to, I don't care that he's not here anymore. He's in a different uniform. I'm not going to cheer for him. This, that. It was all over the place. And I'll say that genuinely, part of my heart went out to Freddie. It was just like, man, you almost never see professional athletes show that level of emotion openly. Sometimes they do after losses. Sometimes they do after family stuff gets in the way. But when it's typical business decisions, which is exactly what Freddie Freeman and his agent did, they made a business decision. Okay. When it comes to business decisions, players are pretty good about hiding their real feelings until after they get away from it. They kind of keep it under wraps. They play it like it's no big deal, and they just kind of go forward. And, I think that there is a certain amount of don't show everybody what you got. Don't show people that it hurts, because it looks poorly if you do. And I think we saw a little bit of that from Freddie and about Freddie. And I think the optics of this whole thing really don't make Freddie look as good as people would think. And I'll tell you why here in just a second. But first, a word from our good friends at BetOnline.net. It's your number one source for all of your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including this year's NHL playoffs, which have just completed, by the way. We got a Stanley Cup champ, Major League Baseball. BetOnline is your continued source for all of your live sports betting needs, wagering information, esports, and scores. And BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports and events, including MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to the website today and use your mobile device to learn about more about the trends, and the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. So Freddie Freeman, I think the emotion level that he showed this weekend actually hurts him a little bit. I think it certainly is one of those things where optically it came off poor. I think Freddie has every right to feel the way he feels, and I think Freddie has every right to show emotion if he wants to. But how this went over with Braves fans and how it went over publicly, I think didn't exactly leave Freddie in the best position. This is a guy too, oh, by the way, who struck out 6 times in 12 at bats this weekend. Clearly, it had an effect on him. Clearly, it was more emotion than he was capable of handling while playing a baseball game. Let me rephrase that. It was more emotion than he could handle to play baseball at the highest level that he's used to. I think that's fair to say. I mean, yes, he had to go ahead RBI double in the extra innings last night. I think it was in the 10th inning. But still, this was not a guy who looked all that comfortable at the plate. I thought he was going to come back in here and rip Truist Park to shreds from a standpoint of the hitting. I thought he was going to just start peppering the ball all over the yard. And it wasn't to be. He did not have a great series offensively. And when your emotions get the better of you like that, what's going to happen when the pressure is ratcheted up in October and, there is there's much more on the line. I mean, Freddie Freeman in his first at bat versus the Braves at Dodger Stadium hit a home run. And he did not have that same prowess at Truist Park. That level of emotion got to him. And I think it's something actually that the Braves can take advantage of if and likely when they meet again in the playoffs. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how you saw it. I felt like the level of emotion was bad optically. It was almost like Braves fans got exactly what they wanted. And it's an edge that I'm talking about. I'm not saying Freddie's a bad guy. I just think it's a game edge that they know when push comes to shove that if they can get him emotional and get in his head as fans, they will affect his performance. And I think he tipped his hands a little bit with that. And that's kind of where I see the amount of emotion that he showed this weekend as something that could be problematic or could play into things down the road for him. Because the chances of these two teams meeting again in the postseason is pretty good. It is pretty good. So other than that, it was a great weekend at Truist Park. Credit to all the Braves fans who showed up and made it tons of fun. But it was certainly a lot of energy and excitement around Truist Park for all 3 games. And I expect that we'll see that again when these two teams meet in October. All right, coming up next, what was the best move for the Falcons this offseason? We'll answer that question coming up next here on A to Z on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta. We'll be right back.